Merry Christmas, folks. It's Jovan Hutton Pulitzer here. I just wanted to reach out and wish a Merry Christmas to you and your family and your loved ones. May you be safe and secure and well fed and enjoying your loved ones at home. Of course, Christmas means many different things for many people. One of the things I love about Christmas time is just watching really good Christmas movies, but Christmas movies, with a story or that help inspire you or whatever the case may be. And for all of you, hey, James, thank you very much. Merry Christmas. And Danny, a Merry Christmas. Luke, certainly Merry Christmas. I know that, it seems like we're in the midst of troubling times and chaos. And it's kind of interesting, too, with everybody, right? Just trying to figure out what to do. And as we're in the midst of this COVID pandemic, as we're in the midst of this media and, should we say, election crisis. But to all of you, Merry Christmas. I hope you're being safe. I hope you're actually having good food. If you saw it, I posted a duck I made. I made a duck, right? And so I roasted a duck with half wild rice and half basmati rice, and then the liquid for cooking the duck with cooking the rice with the duck is I let the wild rice and everything soak overnight. It was wild rice, cranberries, and almonds, right? With garlic and onion. And let it soak overnight in a chicken broth, so it will kind of soak it in. And then the rest of the fluid need to cook the rice. It was actually French press Sumatra rare coffees. And I know that sounds really weird, but coffee actually brings out really rich flavors, especially like duck. You don't want to use MSG, you want to use something natural. So coffee does that. So it was actually cooked in coffee. And then as I'm getting ready for it's cooked and it's all nice and soft and the rice and everything's all done, then you basically add what ends up being a cup of wine. You pour it into the cavity and and on the top, and it kind of lets it steam in this white wine. Then you kind of oil or butter the top and let it crisp. And so if you look on my wall, you'll actually find that. Good. I want to talk about a few things people are asking about. They're asking about this AT&T. Thank you for the much love, Ben. I appreciate it. Henrietta, thank you very much. Danny, haven't eaten the duck yet. The duck will be eaten in about probably an hour and a half or so, right? It's kind of pacing myself, but I want to wish you to the well-wisher. So let's talk about it. I don't know if you're watching the news, although the news might not be carrying it because the news is not news anymore. It's just opinion. But people are talking about the blast in Nashville. As you know, Nashville was attacked today. A terrorist attack happened in Nashville. A lot of chatter about what happened and why. I don't think that there were many fatalities, if any. I do know that when it was discovered, authorities got on the loudspeaker emergency warning in the city and basically said, if you can hear our voice, run, vacate the area. It was an RV packed with explosives. Some people are actually intuitively connecting the dots. As you know, a lot of the AT&T servers there that handled the tremendous amount of the traffic on election night, stuff like that's recorded there. You can see some of these voting machines, and this goes in conjunction with other stuff you only saw today. We got a Christmas present from the media today, and the Christmas present from the media today, right, was that they actually started reporting real news. Thank you, Jeff, Valerie from Nova Scotia. Thank you. They started, all right, hey, Jonas from Sweden, thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Everybody saying Merry Christmas. But they reported today, and yes, this is why the Nashville incident's really odd. for the first time in probably forever, since you can remember in the media finally started replying, or should I say running real news stories, because the evidence is just too overwhelming at the moment. If you've been watching it close, you saw the NBC story confirming that many multiples, there's actually more than they're reporting, but many multiples of these voting machines were in fact connected to the internet. I can't say much more than that, although then these machines shouldn't have a way to talk to the internet. And when you have a way to talk to the internet, there's different routing and instruction. And Danny, you're 100% right. This was not about hurting people. This was about damaging infrastructure, because those machines had already been tagged to look at the traffic. And you can notice in these voting hubs, which should not have internet traffic. Remember, the way the machines work is people go in and vote, or it's tabulated. It goes on a SD card. That SD card is transported to one secure building, and then it has a police escort, and the escort transfers it to another secure building, which is supposed to be the tally building. It can still be mucked with, but then it goes up and it's the reporting for the states. All that data, a lot of that data is there on those AT&T servers. It's one of it. And so it was very, very interesting to actually have an attack there today. What's also concerning about this is, as most of you may know, that everybody's talking about it. They're not having phone service in the area, right? Phone service in the area. But it's also the 911 system. I don't know if y'all remember that many months ago, nationwide, the 911 system went down for an extended amount of time, not just a few minutes, but almost an hour. And so some of these things are really kind of triangulation on a data basis that are really interesting. Now, I heard about gunshots prior. I don't have enough information on that. I'm only looking at the damage afterward. Now, watch the footage several times to understand it. But yes, that could be connected, right? But I do find it interesting that the media, right? USA Today and NBC, finally, thank you, Mariposa. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it. Thank you, AJC. I really appreciate it. How you doing there overseas? Thank you. I think it really interesting that, hey, Joe, how you doing? Yes, you got something on your way to train your eyes. A little late for Christmas time, but you're going to enjoy it. You're going to love it, brother. Yes, it probably wasn't designed to kill anyone, but I do think it's interesting that the media has finally popped up. The first story crested on NBC. NBC confirmed that certain technology stuff experts confirmed that machines were connected to the internet. That is basically against all election laws. There's not supposed to be any way in and out of those machines. It's supposed to be a closed system. And so that is now being reported as truth, because it is truth. And then, of course, right after that, USA Today further confirmed a second break and a different breach and more machines connected to the internet. Your voting machines, not for any reason, should be connected to the internet. Shelly's telling you, Joe, that very fun, lots of treasures, has fun. She got one. She found all kinds of great things in it. I'm going to share some pictures. I might do it tonight. I might come on and show you some of the things people are finding in their rags. But I think this is really good news, right? I think the fact that this is only about vote verification and vote integrity. And I have to believe, with no regard to what side you're on, that you just at your heart should believe in America, the American dream, the American patriotic system, and to have integrity in voting. I mean, you really don't want to be like Venezuela and go to a voting machine and vote, but also know it means nothing, right? And so I think this is for everybody. It doesn't matter on the side of the aisle. Everybody just wants to know what the fact is. Everybody just wants to know that their vote was actually counted. And with no regard for who you voted for, your vote should be counted, and whatever those true, legit, real votes are what they are. And so that process is underway. And I think people are now beginning to understand at the legislative level in the states to understand what went on. Absolutely. And you're welcome, and thank you in Georgia. Henrietta, it is very unfortunate, and I'll just tell you this from direct, that little piece of data there, the smart thermostat, was supposed to be totally kept confidential. There were only at one time, there were only 6 of us in the United States that knew that was the way. And the only reason I'm even telling you that is because it's now out in the open. And I personally am furious about that, furious, because that was a very important top piece of intel that nobody should have known. And it was released. And it was released inside from the various agencies that should be protecting this country. And that makes me sick as I sit here telling you that. It makes me sick to my stomach to have to say that. But there were only, 7 people in the world that even knew that it confirmed it, documented it, got it all down, the whole bit, and it runs up the chain because that's just the kind of the way it works. And, at this time, way up in the government, many people say, oh, there's no evidence and that's not true and whatever. And I think basically back to the wall, knowing this was now out and had been confirmed, they actually leaked it, which is very infuriating because you don't want anybody running around shutting off these devices when you know what they're doing. And it's sickening. It's sickening that within our own government, there are those bad actors. Right. And so, Henrietta, just the fact that that people even know that, and that it was said and that it was released is beyond pale, that the public should have been informed of that information. And that's part of what the battle that goes on is. I'm not sure anything's secret anymore. Right. People work hard and dedicate their lives to protecting this country, and people get out there and do things and spoil it, and it's horrible. And Kelly, I agree with you. Somebody doing that should be drawn and quartered. In case you don't know what drawn and quartered is, it's basically you're laid out on the ground naked. A rope is tied to each of your legs independently, your arms independently. Sometimes they'll also do it to your head, and at the other end of each rope for each independent limb, you're connected to a horse, and then all the horses take off running at once, and your appendages are ripped from your body. That's an appropriate punishment for anyone sabotaging their nation. And I mean, it would just make common sense. It would just make common sense. When you know these things and you know these things are happening, you don't let that out because you don't want bad actors shutting these things off. But Kelly, I agree with you, sir. Amen, patriot. That is an appropriate action on any side for anybody for any reason. When you literally betray your country like that, because in the world of data, it's not just one device, and if there's 40,000 voting machines, you want all 40,000 connections documented, right? And that's it. But yes, most people don't know. Yes, the smartest thing in your house is yourself, and it should be. I don't even use doorbell cameras and stuff like that. They're all hardwired off the system. because yeah, they can be hacked. Most people don't understand how many things are hacked. I'll share something with you. You know, I have a book that was getting prepared for this year. It's what I spoke about at AMP Fest at Trump Doral in Florida, for those of you that went there. And I spoke about these devices that come out of China. I'll share a bit for you in the book so you understand how this works. But a lot of these devices in your home, when you look at, and I'm just generically doing a layover so you understand what I'm saying, so just use it as a comparative. Let's say that you decided to get into Bitcoin trading, right? And you're going to trade these Bitcoins because they're safe and secure. And that takes a pretty good processing video board that can handle a lot of heat, a lot of data, a lot of transfer, right? And those cards, even on the low end, will be about $1,200 a card. The real high-end ones, if you're really into the trading and security, might be about $5,000 a piece, right? And so when everybody started trading cryptocurrency, and you hear about, you know, these coins going from nothing to 25 grand to whatever the case may be, well, of course, people get into it. And then what they do inherently is they look online, and I'll just use, again, a good example. Here's the $2,000 authentic card from the real company, but we're used to ordering over here in Amazon or other places, and you want to find the cheapest. It's the American way. We want it, but we want it cheaper. And all of a sudden you see the same card, right? It looks identical, whatever is identical, and it's $900. And it says limited supply. And so what do? You go, holy shit, this is the one I'm going to order. And you order it. And you come in and you put it in your computer, and it works as described. Except it wasn't the authentic card that you should have paid $2,000 for. It was the knockoff of the card from China, and it doesn't have anything different in the specs. It still should be that $2,000 card, but the reason it's $900 is because it's subsidized by the Chinese Communist Party, and that card where you're supposed to be trading your Bitcoins and everything else, incredibly secure, never can be hacked or whatever, actually has a two-way device that goes back to Beijing and reports everything you do. And so they actually have it and could take it if they want it. That is the Achilles heel of the American system. See, when we built the internet and computing, America was sold robust, fast, right? Cheap price, but nobody ever understood the true security part of it. And so, you know, you could walk to almost any building in the world and you can sniff them. And I'm not talking like Curse of Oak Island sniffing a bunch of wood. But yeah, there are people, sniffers out there that can actually come up to a building and turn on the sniffer and see everything that's done. Data leaks, even over the power lines or phone lines. These little bits and stuff to the line, they actually leak, literally leak through our lines. And everything can be just sit back, watch, and collect it. That is how insecure our system is. And maybe now, in part of this great awakening, is the fact that we can now secure these things up. And I've talked about them before, and I will redo my presentation here, probably in the New Year's, Eve, New Year's break. I'm going to go ahead and redo for every one of you who are here my presentation on Chinese espionage and how America has already been sold. Because you need to see some of these things, and you need to understand what happened, that where nobody paid attention to it in a long-term plan, certain things have happened. Not Russia, but China. Not Russia, but China. Not Russia, but China. But when you have politicians that take a lot of money from China, they want the talk to be about Russia because it deflects from China. So yes, you should be doing everything you can do, as I crack my chair here, hang on, everything you can do to make your home secure. And you should take extra steps. You shouldn't just power down your computer you should power down your computer and unplug it. Have you ever noticed that if you can power down your computer and you come back to your office and you think, hey, right? How'd my computer turn back on? Well, it's because it has mechanisms in it, even though when you turned it off, to turn it back on. So it's always best to turn off your stuff, and it's always best on your phone. We never think about it. You know, if you were to go to your power management on your phone and look at all the apps that are reporting that are open, even stuff you might not have used, but it's constantly reporting back and stuff, you should always post those. You should not get pings on your phone, and this is kind of hard, right, for some people, because you get a notice, you get a ping when I come on, right? But still, even the act of leaving the ping open, that, hey, you've got a message, or hey, you've got a tweet, or whatever, is leaving a socket open on your phone. Anyway, so the most important thing that I think is the true Christmas gift that we all got is maybe the media is waking up that, holy smokes, all of this is going to come out and be exposed. We're going to look like freaking idiots, and we have to try to claw back some of our credibility. Because for them to go all the way from there was no fraud, nothing wrong, nothing to see here, whatever, right? To now 100% finally running with the stories that these polling places had open channels of communications in them connected to the internet, which is illegal. For them to really do that is a major step for this country that I think, with all the pushing and all the sharing and all the incredible researchers out there that are digging into this and making things happen and reporting to all the legal teams or the data teams involved, the government teams involved, or whatever, I think it's finally to the point that maybe the United States media has to realize we've kind of got to tell it like it is. And if y'all watch the video out there of what was it out there? Call it. I wonder if I can share this. Now, bear with me for a moment as I try to see if there's a way while we're talking. So you're going to see my eyes divert for a moment. I downloaded a video the other day that most people may or may not have seen floating around the internet. And it was about, and I posted it on my wall, but I'm just going to see if I can find it here where I downloaded it. Bear with me one moment. Maybe it's this, I think. I don't know. It's loading into this program here I'm using to talk to you. It might be the right one. I don't really know. Of how some of this stuff is done, and why maybe as a country, when it comes to media, you don't actually see things. So when I saw this, of course, every time I see these things pop out on the net, I make sure I grab them down, just so I can kind of keep protection copies of them there. But you're seeing today, I posted a video on my wall. It was a very interesting thing. And if you're interested in the data like I am, I'm only interested in the data. You can find one number of votes here be deducted from one person and at the same time added to the other candidate. We're talking the exact same number. Now, you don't have to be a computer scientist to understand, whoa, wait a minute, that's like kind of funky. So I'm going to play a video for you. It did upload into my program here. I want to play a video for you that is, I find, exceptionally interesting. I think people should maybe know about these things. I just download them voraciously because you don't want them to disappear. Let me see if I can play this. Take a look at this. You might be interested in knowing this. And this is why I say today was really a great gift, the Christmas gift, that the media actually reported truth about what's being found. Take a look at this.
Have you ever heard of the Open Technology Fund? The Open Technology Fund is an American nonprofit corporation with the aim to support global internet freedom technologies. During the Obama administration, the United States Congress recognized Radio Free Asia and the Broadcasting Board of Governors as an appropriate engine to empower citizens worldwide to use the internet as a safe and secure platform for free speech. To this end, the Open Technology Fund was created in 2012 as a program of Radio Free Asia, broadcasting over the radio, and then the internet throughout China, including in Xinjiang and Tibet. Radio Free Asia knew well both the challenges and importance of providing independent media content in censored environments. It was out of this context that the Open Technology Fund was born. But is the Open Technology Fund really a Trojan horse for disruption? The U.S. Agency for Global Media used to be the Broadcasting Board of Governors. However, what it really was discreetly was actually the Department of State, thus a byproduct of the Arab Spring courtesy of none other than Hillary Rodham Clinton. The Smith Modernization Act of 2012, enacted by President Obama, made it legal for them to pay corporate media outlets to publish news anonymously. This news was actually fake, and it was specifically propaganda curated by the government for the United States citizenry to consume as fact. This news, which was never real to begin with, is funded by the United States taxpayers. The President of the United States of America at the time, Barack Obama, made it legal to broadcast completely fake news to the American people. This gave broadcasters the right to run with any story, even though there was no basis in truth. Mass media was given legal cover to do the bidding of the Obama administration without legal ramifications.
That's pretty eye-opening, isn't it? And here we all sit, a few years ago, prior to the current administration, media would have swore they were unbiased. It was, they only report it like it is, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they would have swore that media was not biased. But then you actually find out, and when I got all this information, and you can look it up, I'll play it again before I stop here, but you can look it up on your own. You can actually verify that our United States government during the last administration made it totally legal to plant a news story and to pay broadcasters to run it. For the sole purpose of propagandizing the American consumers so they would believe something the government wanted them to believe. And when I see that and hear it and looked up the law myself, you had it all there, you can look it up yourself. No wonder media has a vested interest in just selling you a load of crap. It is just horribly disgusting, right? Horribly disgusting. You are right. It is disturbing, but this is the truth. You can look this up yourself. And that's why I'm so happy that Q Warriors cued people in onto what was really going on and how this works. I'll play it for you again in a minute, but let me show you another one, because everybody's been talking about, well, how are these damn voting machines connected or whatever? And so another great patriot wanted to cue people in on what was really going on. And so I pulled down this video that was circulating. Have you seen this one? Take a look at this.
SolarWinds is a technology company in Austin, Texas. You should look at the board members of the company and then follow the money big Chinese money has bought and bribed its way into American technology companies and systems. Over 2 million Chinese Communist Party members have been placed inside Western companies and institutions. The investment and money trail leads back to the Chinese Communist Party. Looking deep into the dealings of SolarWinds, you will find executives and investors with deep ties to the Chinese Communist Party. For example, Silver Lake is a $75 billion investment fund and has assets inside SolarWinds. Silver Lake is a partner of Dominion Voting. In turn, Dominion Voting is working with the DeLeon Project in partnership with the Clinton Foundation. SolarWinds software and administrator keys are compromised. But why are CIA hacking tools, dark web hacking tools, found within SolarWinds? These deep ties with questionable entities should worry you. Another worrisome connection is Ghislaine Maxwell. Did you know Ghislaine Maxwell has twin sisters, Christine and Isabel Maxwell? Christine started Magellan and then started Kill the Ad. Kill the Ad created the software that runs all the FBI, CIA, and DEA intelligence databases. And all these people are linked together. Do you think these deep connections are just coincidences?
And so that's wildly eye-opening, isn't it? When you start to look at some of these connections, I just kind of laugh. All these people are hearing about SolarWinds and stuff going on, and it's about technology. It's about what do people really see. Like if you go back to me connecting the dots with barcodes and stuff, the original software was called C, the letter C, R, the letter R for our collective, C, our, Q. Because Q is what it's all about. You are cued into things in life. You are cued, this is going on. And in that instance, with the codes to create it, I was cueing you into, hey, take a look here. There's something underneath this code. And so I actually think there's an incredible revival now that people that normally don't pay attention to some of these things are finally paying attention to some of these connections, what's going on. And you're right, people from across the pond think America's very twisted. This is incredibly disturbing. It's a lot of work. A lot of great patriots are involved in stuff like this. And you bring up an interesting point. The current administration, that's part of, I think, the alarm is to get things back to the way they should be. And you're right, Sean, Merry Christmas, because I think it is a Merry Christmas because these things are being exposed. Michael asked if these will ever be corrected without a civil uprising. I do believe it. I do believe it. Thank you, Joe. I do believe it. And here's why. I think, again, we got a Christmas gift today. Look on my wall, a Christmas gift today. NBC, USA Today. These are not conservative bastions in any way. These are conservative bashers. And they broke the stories that, hey, this stuff is proven out. So before I go, I want to play that one video that I think is most eye-opening again. And again, because I started out with the Christmas gift was the media today finally acknowledging some of this stuff. And that's monumental. And it's monumental for this reason right here. Watch this one more time.
Have you ever heard of the Open Technology Fund? The Open Technology Fund is an American nonprofit corporation with the aim to support global internet freedom technologies. During the Obama administration, the United States Congress recognized Radio Free Asia and the Broadcasting Board of Governors as an appropriate engine to empower citizens worldwide to use the internet as a safe and secure platform for free speech. To this end, the Open Technology Fund was created in 2012 as a program of Radio Free Asia, broadcasting over the radio, and then the internet throughout China, including in Xinjiang and Tibet. Radio Free Asia knew well both the challenges and importance of providing independent media content in censored environments. It was out of this context that the Open Technology Fund was born. But is the Open Technology Fund really a Trojan horse for disruption? The U.S. Agency for Global Media used to be the Broadcasting Board of Governors. However, what it really was discreetly was actually the Department of State, thus a byproduct of the Arab Spring courtesy of none other than Hillary Rodham Clinton. The Smith Modernization Act of 2012, enacted by President Obama, made it legal for them to pay corporate media outlets to publish news anonymously. This news was actually fake, and it was specifically propaganda curated by the government for the United States citizenry to consume as fact. This news, which was never real to begin with, is funded by the United States taxpayers. The President of the United States of America at the time, Barack Obama, made it legal to broadcast completely fake news to the American people. This gave broadcasters the right to run with any story, even though there was no basis in truth. Mass media was given legal cover to do the bidding of the Obama administration without legal ramifications.
I think this is what it's all about. What you're seeing is with so many people in America saying they just want the truth. Carlo, you're right. Small steps. Small steps. And Henrietta, you're also correct. We have to go back even past the Bush administration. A civil war for your mind, Robin, has been started. But I'm telling everybody, don't get involved in the mind games, because part of that mind games is just to make you get up and say this will never be fixed. And Kelly's right. It's the thumb screws. It's the thumb screws being put down, and maybe the system's seeing it. That is what's going on. And you should actually share this. And that's what I would ask you is, for a Christmas favor, would you just share this and get your friends and family just kind of understand what's going on? Exciting stuff going on. You're living in the middle of history. You're living history. What is going on right now will be talked about in history books several hundred years from now. Now, of course, if certain things happen, they'll erase history, kind of like tearing down Civil War statues. They don't want to let people know it's already happened, right? That we fought for freedom and fought to untether people as slaves. They want people to believe they're still slaves, and so they tear down the Civil War stuff. But if everything goes as planned, this is what's going to be written about for hundreds of years, and you're watching it. You're watching it. Very few times do the populace live and breathe it. This will be studied forever. What happened and how did it happen, and what did it do to America? How did it get corrected? This is a pretty wild roller coaster ride. I can tell you that just as there's dark forces out there, there's good forces out there to make sure it all goes the right way. But this is just only about vote verification. That's it. Your vote should matter. Your vote should matter. And you're right. Lin Wood is a absolute true American fighting for this. Thank you for sharing it. I greatly appreciate it. Because, this is not what the media covers. And this is where you have some power, right? You might share a video and you might only get 2 or 3 of your family to watch it, but that's 2 or 3 more people whose eyes have been open to what's really going on. The facts are there. It's just that the facts aren't reporting on. And so I agree with Kelly, who's a great patriot, that said that, now the thumb screws are down, the evidence are there, it's happened. I even see it in academic circles when you're trying to bring people in for certain things, and you're talking to people that would love to see a different administration, and you watch their faces just bleach white and their jaws drop when they actually look at the real facts. It just kind of crushes them. But it should be crushed because everybody's vote should matter, right? But this is not about any of us right now. And here's why it's not about any of us. This is about our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. Having the freedoms that we have enjoyed up to this point. We now openly know social media is rapidly tearing down freedom of speech. It's no longer hidden. We know that there's a vast push to turn this country socialist. It's no longer hidden. But this is about your children, your grandchildren, and your great-grandchildren. And take off the blinders, share this. Just like learning your own government approved the law in the last administration that the story can be totally bogus because all they want to do is control your mind. Now maybe you can see some of the connective tissues of how this is running amok. Anyway, everybody have a great Christmas. I am going to go enjoy my roasted duck, right? Champagne, right? Champagne. I am going to enjoy green beans with mushrooms, not the cream of mushroom soup kind, but really the long green beans with garlic and mushrooms. Sauteed spinach, right? Sauteed spinach with garlic. I love that. And Christmas rolls. You got to have Christmas rolls, but yes, they're going to be gluten-free, right? And I am going to then, after that, have incredible apple pie with crunchies on it, right? And then after that's done, later in the evening, having champagne. I'm going to have champagne and then have a particular wine, which I'll tell you about one time, but it's the actual grape grown by the Greeks back in the BCs. So this is the authentic genetic origins of the wine grape. And though it's a red wine, it's absolutely amazing. And I'm having it with a very nice espresso dark chocolate bar that my son gave me that's specifically going that pairs really well with a nice red wine. So that's my plan. Stay safe. Dig, right? Dig, right? Love your ones around you, right? Love your ones around you. I love the green bean casserole, onion soup, bacon, dried onions, mushrooms, Michael. I love that stuff. But this one I did a little bit different. And just have some good food. I know it looks like everything went to hell in a handbasket. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. And stay the course, have faith, believe in this great grand experiment called the United States of America that everybody wants to emulate, and countries that don't have it are incredibly jealous of it. And that's why people want to break into this country. But you're watching a fight, a battle. It's not just political parties, and it's not just people against people. You are witnessing something that may truly open your eyes that there are such things as good and evil forces and light and dark that you cannot see in this physical realm that are fighting for the bitter end for the lives and the souls of the people on this planet. You're witnessing it. That's what's going on. Anyways, say prayers, take care, hug your loved ones, stay the course. Everything's good. Have a great Christmas. Take care. Bye-bye.